What if I told you that a farm boy from Idaho, with no money, no connections, and no college degree, became one of the most successful entrepreneurs and motivational speakers of all time? Jim Rohn started with absolutely nothing at age 25, working as a stock clerk making pennies. But by following 7 simple money rules, he built a fortune that would make him a millionaire many times over. These aren't complicated Wall Street strategies or get-rich-quick schemes. They're timeless principles that anyone can apply, regardless of your current financial situation. And here's the shocking part. Most people know these rules but never follow them. Are you ready to discover what separated Jim Rohn from the 95% who struggle financially their entire lives? Jim Rohn once said, "I used to say I sure hope things will change. Then I learned that the only way things are going to change for me is when I change." This mindset shift became the foundation of his incredible wealth-building journey. Born in 1930 in Yakima, Washington, Rohn grew up during the Great Depression in a farming family. His father worked hard but was always broke, and young Jim watched his family struggle to make ends meet. At 25, he was married, had a child, and was working as a stock clerk at Sears making just enough to survive. Everything changed when he met his mentor, Earl Schoaf, a successful businessman who became his guide to financial freedom. Schoaf taught him that wealth wasn't about luck or connections, but about following specific principles that wealthy people understand. Over the next 6 years, Jim Rohn applied these principles religiously and became a millionaire by age 31. But here's what makes his story truly remarkable. He didn't keep these secrets to himself. He spent the rest of his life teaching others these same principles, influencing millions of people, including Tony Robbins, who called him his first mentor. The first money rule that transformed Jim Rohn's life was what he called pay yourself first. This isn't just about saving money, it's about completely changing your relationship with money. Most people get paid and immediately start paying everyone else. The mortgage company, the credit card companies, the utility companies. By the time they're done paying everyone else, there's nothing left for themselves. They tell themselves they'll save what's left over, but there's never anything left over. Jim Rohn flipped this script entirely. He said, when you get paid, the first person you pay is yourself. This doesn't mean you become irresponsible with your bills, but it means you prioritize your future self above your current wants. He recommended starting with at least 10% of your income, no matter how small. If you're making $2,000 a month, you pay yourself $200 first. If you're making $5,000, you pay yourself $500. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think they need to wait until they're making more money to start paying themselves. Jim Rohn discovered that the exact opposite is true. The habit of paying yourself first is what creates the discipline and mindset that leads to making more money. When you consistently pay yourself first, you develop what wealthy people call money consciousness. You start thinking like someone who values their financial future, and that thinking drives different actions. The psychological impact of this rule cannot be overstated. When you pay yourself first, you're telling your subconscious mind that you are worth investing in. You're declaring that your future is more important than your immediate gratification. This creates a powerful shift in how you view money and how you make financial decisions throughout the month. The second rule that catapulted Jim Rohn to wealth was never spend more than you make. This sounds obvious, but in a world of credit cards, loans, and buy now, pay later schemes, it's revolutionary. Jim Rohn understood that debt is the enemy of wealth building. Every dollar you owe is a dollar that can't work for you. Every month you make payments to someone else is a month you're not building your own fortune. Rohn took this principle to an extreme level. He not only lived below his means, but he lived well below his means. While his income grew, his lifestyle didn't inflate at the same rate. This is what financial experts call lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent killer of wealth. Most people get a raise and immediately increase their spending to match their new income. They get a better car, a bigger apartment, more expensive clothes. They end up with the same amount of money left over, just with more expensive problems. Jim Rohn rejected this entirely. As his income increased from thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions, he maintained discipline in his spending. He lived comfortably, but never extravagantly. He understood that every dollar he didn't spend was a dollar that could be invested and multiplied. This principle allowed him to accumulate capital rapidly, which leads directly to the third rule. The third money rule was, make your money work for you. Jim Rohn discovered that there are two types of income: active income and passive income. Active income is what you earn from your job or business, where you trade time for money. Passive income is what you earn from investments, where your money works for you even while you sleep. The wealthy understand that the path to financial freedom isn't just about earning more active income, but about converting that active income into passive income as quickly as possible. Rohn started investing his savings into various opportunities. He bought real estate, invested in businesses, and put money into stocks and bonds. But he didn't just throw money at random investments. He educated himself about each investment opportunity. He studied successful investors, read books about finance, and learned from mentors who had already achieved what he wanted to achieve. This is where many people fail with investing. They either never start because they think they need to be experts first, or they start without any education and lose money on bad investments. Jim Rohn found the middle ground. He started investing while he was still learning, but he started with small amounts and conservative investments. As his knowledge grew, he became more sophisticated in his investment strategies. The key insight here is that your money can work much harder than you can. You can only work so many hours in a day, but your money can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The earlier you start making your money work for you, the more time compound interest has to work its magic. The fourth rule that Jim Rohn lived by was invest in yourself. This might be the most overlooked wealth-building strategy of all. While most people focus on external investments like stocks and real estate, Jim Rohn understood that the best investment you can make is in yourself. Your skills, knowledge, and abilities are the foundation of your income-earning potential. Rohn spent thousands of dollars on books, seminars, courses, and coaching. He studied under successful business people and constantly worked to improve his communication skills, his business acumen, and his understanding of human psychology. This investment in himself paid dividends throughout his life. As his skills improved, his income potential increased dramatically. But investing in yourself isn't just about formal education or expensive courses. It's about developing the habits and mindset of successful people. Jim Rohn was famous for saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." He understood that if you want to be wealthy, you need to spend time with wealthy people. If you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with successful people. This meant making difficult decisions about relationships. Rohn had to distance himself from negative people who complained about money, blamed others for their problems, or had a scarcity mindset. Instead, he sought out mentors, joined business organizations, and built relationships with people who challenged him to grow. The fifth money rule was create multiple streams of income. Jim Rohn learned early in his career that relying on a single source of income was risky. What happens if you lose your job? What happens if your business fails? What happens if your industry becomes obsolete? Wealthy people protect themselves by creating multiple streams of income. Rohn didn't just have one business, he had several. He didn't just rely on his speaking income, he also had investment income, royalty income from his books and audio programs, and income from various business ventures. This diversification provided security and accelerated his wealth building. When one income stream was down, others could compensate. Creating multiple income streams doesn't mean working multiple jobs. It means creating systems that generate income with minimal ongoing effort. This could be rental properties that generate monthly cash flow, dividend-paying stocks, royalties from creative work, or businesses that can operate without your constant involvement. The psychology behind this rule is crucial. When you have multiple income streams, you feel more secure and confident. This confidence allows you to take calculated risks and pursue opportunities that people with single income sources might be too scared to attempt. Financial security breeds more financial success. The sixth rule that transformed Jim Rohn's finances was give back and it will come back. This might seem counterintuitive when you're trying to build wealth, but Rohn discovered that generosity creates abundance. He made it a practice to give away a percentage of his income to causes he believed in and people who needed help. This wasn't just about charity, It was about creating a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When you give money away, you're telling your subconscious that you have more than enough. This abundance mindset attracts more opportunities, more relationships, and more wealth into your life. Successful people understand that money is like energy. It needs to flow to grow. Rohn also gave back through his knowledge and expertise. He mentored young entrepreneurs, spoke at events, and shared his wisdom freely. This generosity built his reputation, expanded his network, and created opportunities that wouldn't have existed otherwise. Many of his business deals and investment opportunities came through relationships he built by helping others. The seventh and final money rule was, be patient and consistent. Jim Rohn understood that wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. He didn't get rich overnight, and he didn't expect to. He was patient enough to let compound interest work its magic, and consistent enough to stick to his principles even when it was difficult. This patience and consistency separated him from the majority of people who start wealth-building programs but quit after a few months or years. They want immediate results, and when they don't see dramatic changes quickly, they abandon their plans. Rohn understood that small, consistent actions compound over time into extraordinary results. He compared it to planting a tree. You don't plant a seed and expect fruit the next day. You water it consistently, protect it from harsh weather, and trust that with time and care, it will grow into something that provides shade and fruit for decades. Wealth building follows the same principle. The consistency aspect is crucial because it's not about making perfect decisions every time. It's about making good decisions most of the time and never completely abandoning your principles. Jim Rohn had setbacks, made mistakes, and faced challenges, but he never stopped paying himself first, never stopped investing in himself, and never stopped following his money rules. What made Jim Rohn's approach to wealth building so powerful was that these rules worked together synergistically. Paying yourself first created the capital to invest. Living below his means prevented debt from undermining his progress. Investing in himself increased his income potential. Creating multiple income streams provided security and acceleration. Giving back created abundance mindset and opportunities. Being patient and consistent allowed compound interest to work its magic. The most important insight from Jim Rohn's wealth-building journey is that these rules are available to everyone. You don't need to be born wealthy, have connections, or possess special talents. You just need to be willing to follow proven principles consistently over time. The question isn't whether these rules work. Jim Rohn's life proves they do. The question is whether you're willing to implement them in your own life. Remember, Jim Rohn started with nothing at age 25 and became a millionaire by 31. If you're 25 and start following these rules today, you could be financially free by 31. If you're 40 and start today, you could be wealthy by 46. If you're 50 and start today, you could be set for life by 56. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Your financial future isn't determined by your current situation. It's determined by the decisions you make starting today. Jim Rohn proved that with the right rules, anyone can build wealth. The only question remaining is, will you follow his example?